Hello and welcome back to WEA2U. Thanks for joining today, and we have an important weather update. There has been some chatter with my friends, number one. Number two, there's been a post on Facebook about the windstorm tomorrow. So let's see if it's going to happen or not. So I'm going to analyze these models with you guys, and that way I can show you what is likely to happen. So let's switch this camera around and we'll see what's going to happen. So give me 1 second. Actually, we'll go ahead and fast forward this and get it primed and ready for tomorrow. So 7 a.m. tomorrow for the HRR model. Here we go, guys. So hopefully you can see this okay. We have the HRR, which is the high resolution rapid refresh. So this is wind gust right here, as you can see right there. And so we'll go forth in time. So I'll pull this back so you can see me. We'll go to 8. We'll go to 9. And this is all AM, by the way. Now you can see, look at where some of these wind gusts are at. Now, remind you that we're not in Kansas. This is not necessarily flat. Some of this is some mountaintop, so this can vary. But as you can see at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and then if we zoom in a little bit tighter here, you can see the wind speeds possible for tomorrow. It is interesting. These are wind gusts. Now, if we go to wind speed, sustained winds are going to be 35 to 45, so you can see where the sustained winds are. And then we'll zoom out, and you can see what the sustained winds are for tomorrow. And it just kind of comes in and goes away. So it's a system that comes quickly up, and it's a quick hitter, but it's not going to last too long. So as you can see, it peels off as we go in the mid-afternoon. So this is the major concern, is the timing of this is late morning into right about midday, is what the concern is. But if we go back to wind gusts, this is what is concerning, and potential definitely widespread power outages, excuse me, if I can speak here, is likely to happen. You can see all those numbers. Now, let's go to the NAM. Let's see what the NAM is forecasting. Forecasting similar things. It comes in here right around midday. And now you see this NAM is actually wind speeds are even more dangerous. We're looking at triple digits for wind speeds. Now, this is not likely to happen, but this isn't. These are just wind gusts. Now, let's look at the sustained winds. We'll go to wind speed, and let's see what they predict here under this model. So this model looks like sustained winds are going to be, we zoom in tighter, sustained winds are 45 to 55 miles per hour, which is pretty darn strong. So, and that's one model. That's the model that I wouldn't go too closely with. But let's go back to wind gusts. For the NBM model here, let's go in here. We'll look at this here, guys. And you can see the wind gusts here don't really favor on this model here. This model doesn't seem to favor strong wind gusts. So there's one that's disagreeing already. Then we'll go to, I believe this is the Canadian model, the GM model. So hopefully you guys can see everything correctly. I'm using my osmosis camera, so please forgive me. This is in 4K, so hopefully you can see this okay. As you can see, right around 1 o'clock, so right around midday, it shows that there is potential for strong winds. And then you look at this model. Now, this model is quite interesting. This model shows the same thing that the NAM shows. Now, these models are very similar to each other, I believe, and this shows that it's just going to be, it's a quick hit system. Comes right around midday, and then gets out of here, in the afternoon. Let's take a look at the ECMF model, and you're not really seeing real strong wind gusts from this one. Well, a little bit there, as you can see right in this area, about 1, and then it comes through. So yeah, this is quite interesting to see. So definitely we're going to see strong wind gusts tomorrow, right around midday to late morning into the early afternoon, coming up from the south. And that's what it looks like. But if you look at the wind gust here, it's like it comes through. But a lot of these models are saying that it's going to be right around, I would say, it's going to be in the 50s, potential gusts, 60s. There's a chance it'll exceed that. But most models, with the exception of the two, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 models out of the 2 out of the 8 show seriously high, maybe 3. Let's see at this. Yeah, 3 out of the 8, which is not half, are showing potential wind gusts topping. This is really interesting. 60 plus miles per hour, which is interesting. So yeah, guys, this is interesting. So let's take a look at the bigger picture and why. So let's take a look. We have high pressure there, as you can see, and low pressure's got to be pretty close. And this is the problem. You have high pressure down here and you have low pressure right here. And if you go see where the low is right here, and depending on where this low gets right in here, it's like a vacuum and it sucks everything up. And so you see the low is there. Watch that low there if you can see on the camera, that little dot there. And as you can see, it goes up. Now, farther inland it goes, doesn't mean we'll see necessarily strong winds. We have to really see where it goes, because you can see right here it's going right in this gap, and that's dangerous because this wind, as counterclockwise motion of the low, will pull all this air up, and it could be very severe. That is what we have to watch with this low pressure system. If it moves in any further, you have the high pressure. That is the issue. So it looks like it's going to stay on track. Now, if we go to another model here, we'll see that the low pressure does the same similar thing. We'll go to the NAM, because the NAM was showing some very interesting stuff here. So let's see if I can find where the low pressure is. See if it shows that. And there's a low pressure down here. And then it's going to come up. There it goes right here. And then it's following that circular pattern up. See, and that's following a path where it's very serious. And see, it's mainly saying it's staying off, and that's very dangerous because it stays more off here and hits that just right. That's severe gusts. But if it moves more inland, that is not as bad, because you have, remember, counterclockwise motion here, guys. So closer it gets to this gap right here, closer inland, then you're talking about, it's not, because you don't have this pulling air. It's like this little area can just suck in right here, because you got the mountains here and the mountains here, and just like a funnel. Okay. But if you have it more, the low pressure more over here, then it won't be as bad. But this one and this one show the low pressure just kind of just sitting off the coast, and there it is right there, and it's just supposed to, and that's where it's not good for us. So keep an eye on this, guys. And right now it looks like gusts are going to be 50 to 60, if not more, possibly, miles per hour. Let me see if I have... I did put weather bug. Let's see what any alerts we have here. Yes, we have a high wind watch, which is in fact, it's now in effect, 3:54 to 7 p.m. Wednesday. We also have a coastal flood watch tomorrow as well. So the high wind watch remains in effect until Wednesday morning through Wednesday evening. East to northeast winds of 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts of 30, with sudden shift to southerly Wednesday afternoon with speeds 25 to 35 with gusts of 50 to 60 possible. So that's what we're forecasting too. 50 to 60 is definitely not out of the question, and it looks like it's pretty likely to happen. I wouldn't say likely, but I would say possible at this point. More below 50%. But we have to see where that low pressure sits first as well. We'll keep an eye on this. But as we get a little bit closer, we'll know a little bit more, especially tomorrow morning. But like I said, guys, this can change. Like I said, things can change, and it's possible to change, but it is possible. You have at least 3 out of the 8, so it's like 40% likelihood. We'll just actually, let's do the actual math. So we're going to actually do the math, and this is how I like to do it. And so you have almost 40%, 38% probability of the winds gusts being 50 to 60 miles per hour for sure. And basically Wednesday morning, and the timing of this is late morning, likely midday. Midday is likely when you'll start to really see it get wild. And then as we go into the afternoon, it will subside as we go about mid to later. You'll start seeing it calm down as a low pressure is going to pile up there or come through up on the coast. And we'll have the coastal flooding, which is an effect of 2:26 p.m. to 12 p.m. tomorrow. A coastal hazard weather warning. This is the National Weather Service. Where is San Juan County, lowlands of western Whatcom County, lowlands of western Skagit and northwest Snohomish counties, downtown Everett, Marysville area, shoreline Linwood, South Everett area, city of Seattle, lowlands of Pierce and southern counties, and island counties as well. Wind 6 a.m. to noon Pacific Standard Time Wednesday. That is tomorrow, Christmas Eve. Impacts minor coastal flooding due to tidal overflow is expected around high tide. This may lead to flooding in parking lots, parks, and roads with isolated road closures expected. Additional details. Coastal flooding will occur in the hours around morning high tide. So if you do not have to travel tomorrow right around midday, I would avoid it. And I'm going to try to go out early and get home and be safe, because you should not be out there. It's too risky. We've had saturated. We have risk of landslides still continuing, and the risk of trees coming down. And they have not prepared us for this. This is the problem we are having in this state. We just don't have anything prepared properly. And what happens is you have that risk of trees coming down. So it is very dangerous. If you can avoid traveling, I would say, if it's safe to do so, if you feel like it's safe to do so after 3, look at your, I'll try to keep you updated here, but look at your local app, your weather bug, or your local weather station, and keep an eye on it. But if you can't stay home, or get it done very early in the morning, because we could have definitely widespread power outages, which is not what we need toward Christmas, guys. But unfortunately, the low pressure and high pressure are not behaving themselves. But as far as the high wind warning, guys, the high wind warning is basically in effect of pretty much all of Western Washington, is what I'm seeing here. I'm not going to list everything in Western Washington. west of the Cascades, Bremerton, Silverdale, Anacortes, Ocean Shores, Maple Valley, everywhere. Mercer Island, places like that are really could be hard hit. Really, Bainbridge Island, Whidbey Island, those are really areas to really watch for. Um, that could have significant impact. Um, portions of Northwest and West Central Washington from Wednesday morning to Wednesday evening, because right around late morning, midday, likely into the early afternoons, and then it will fade away. The impacts or damaging winds could blow trees down and power lines. Widespread powers are possible. Travel could be difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles. So if you have high-profile vehicles, stay home. I advise you, just stay home. It is not something to mess with. And so anytime there's weather updates, I like to do my own research because, guys, you just never know. Um, but like I said, we have basically let's take a look. Sorry, I'm just making sure I post this stuff. We have a 38% chance, according to what I calculated there on the calculator with the models that we have, of seeing gusts at 50 to 60, if not a little bit over gusts. Now wind sustained, right around that 30 to 40 miles per hour. So keep that in mind, guys. Please be safe out there. This is something, especially I know people are trying to get stuff done, but safety is always very important. So guys, I'll keep you posted, keep you updated. Stay tuned, stay safe, and I'll see you soon in the next weather update on WEA to you. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and stay safe and have a Merry Christmas.